In recent years, there has been a lot of talk about the end of the world. Someone predicts the Third World War. Others talk about a meteorite moving in the direction of our planet. However, environmentalists call the devastation of freshwater reserves a much more likely cause of the disaster. Lack of water will cause food problem. If preventive measures are not urgently taken, then even a prolonged economic crisis will seem only a minor nuisance compared to the coming catastrophe.
Hi, I'm Runa, and now you'll find out more about it.
It is well known that no living organism on our planet can live without water. In one of its physical states, water is present in almost every corner of the earth. It also had a huge impact on the history of the planet. It was only thanks to it that the earth took on its present appearance with oceans, plants, and living beings. The water cycle on earth seems eternal. It evaporates in the seas under the influence of solar heat, condenses in the atmosphere, precipitates, impregnates the soil, and flows into the seas by rivers. But a little water, or rather hydrogen, still escapes into space from the upper atmosphere. This process can drag on for billions of years until the sun becomes a red giant and turns the Earth's surface into a hot, airless desert. But liquid water can disappear even earlier. The sun's luminosity increases by about 10 every billion years, so in about 3 billion years, all the oceans can evaporate. In 2050, the world's population has grown to 10 billion people, and the demand for water has exceeded the available supply. The effects of climate change have led to droughts in many regions of the world, while pollution and overuse have depleted underground and surface water sources.
Governments and organizations are struggling to find solutions to this problem, but tensions are rising as access to clean water becomes a matter of survival.
In some areas, people are forced to rely on polluted water sources, which leads to the spread of waterborne diseases and other health problems. Agricultural production has declined and food prices have skyrocketed, leading to food shortages and social unrest. As the situation becomes more difficult, scientists and engineers are working to develop new technologies for water conservation and desalination. Governments are investing in infrastructure projects to transport water from areas with higher water supply to areas with lower water supply to areas with lower water supply. Despite these efforts, the water crisis continues to worsen. In some regions of the world, they are forced to normalize water consumption, limiting each person to a certain amount per day.
Others are forced to migrate in search of water, which leads to conflicts and population displacement.
Eventually, the crisis reaches a tipping point. The world is forced to recognize the reality that water is a limited resource and that without concerted efforts to conserve and use it rationally, it can really run out. Governments and organizations around the world are forced to work together to find solutions to the water crisis, including reducing water consumption, improving water treatment and recycling, as well as investing in new technologies and infrastructure.
This experience has changed the world forever, and the importance of water conservation is becoming a central focus of global policy and action.
If all the water in the world disappears, then life on Earth will face catastrophic consequences. Water is a necessary condition for the maintenance of life, and its absence will lead to the death of most living organisms on the planet. Without water, plants will not be able to carry out photosynthesis, which will lead to the death of vegetation and stop the production of oxygen in the atmosphere. Without oxygen in the atmosphere, animals will not be able to breathe, and they will also die. As a result, a chain reaction of the death of life on planet will lead to catastrophic consequences. In addition, water is essential for the production of food and other materials that are used in our daily lives. Without water, the production of food and other materials will become impossible, which will lead to a crisis in the economy and industry.
In general, the disappearance of water on Earth will lead to catastrophic consequences for all life on the planet. Therefore, it is very important to preserve and protect water on Earth in order to ensure the continuation of life on our planet.